Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are going to be doing a really deep level collective reading and energy update. Thank you so much for being here whenever or wherever you are listening to this reading video, because regardless of where you are in the world or even when you are tuning into this video, your energy is being felt here and you are actively co-creating all of the messages and pieces of information that come through here. So thank you for being part of that co-creative process. I've been feeling so much fresh, new energy around our collective, especially since we entered the year of the Fire Horse on February 17th. So I really want to just share all of that beautiful energy I've been feeling with all of you and also tap into the collective field to see what messages we can pull through that hopefully will inspire or encourage you in some way along your journey. So I'm going to start today, first of all, by getting out my chakra stones because I forgot to get these out prior to the reading. So while I'm setting these out, if you would like more specific messages from the reading video, I do recommend liking the video and subscribing to the channel. These are forms of energetic transference that do often allow me to pick up more easily on your energy and channel more specifically for you and your situation. Ooh, this is really interesting. Okay, so there's a message coming through right away. When I was getting out my chakra stones, I had every stone except the one that represents the heart chakra. And I noticed that it was still in the bag, that it was missing in this lineup of stones or crystals. And so a message came through that you are returning your heart to something. And what I mean by this is it's almost like something was missing the heart of it. Something was missing a piece that was essential because it was the emotional element of it. And everything else was perfectly in place, but it was missing your heart. Like that's what I'm picking up on. So for some of you, maybe this is a relationship or a connection or a community that looked logistically like it should be supporting you or should be a positive thing for you, but it wasn't connecting really with your heart, or it wasn't a community or a relationship where you felt that you could really share and open your heart. For others of you, I'm getting that this speaks to your life path and you reintegrating your heart or your emotional energy or like the heart of something back into it. So that feels like a beautiful place to start here. I'm going to shuffle the energy oracle cards. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about a message that we shared about a year ago. And it's interesting, right within that, I feel that there's something about how, well, I actually wrote this in my journal. I don't have my journal in front of me, so I'm speaking from memory. But in my journal, I wrote something along the lines of opportunity or destiny isn't a window that comes and goes. It's a door and then another and another and another. It circles you with more and more moments that you can step through it. And you're never too late to walk through that door and you're never too early. Now is the time. That's the best that I can kind of remember what I wrote down. So what I'm getting is for someone that I'm tapped into here, there's some kind of destiny that's been circling you just like that. And there is this sense that a part of you is worried you missed a kind of window of opportunity. But the message coming through here is the time is now. Now is the perfect time to take a door of opportunity that is opening up for you. And another message that's been coming through a lot is that if something is continuously circling you, it's for a reason. If something is constantly resurfacing in every timeline, every dimension, every version of you, it is still active within you for a reason. It's meant to play some kind of role in your life. And so I'm hearing embracing your destiny. I feel that I'm speaking to a collective here that is embracing some kind of destiny that has felt like it's been circling them and just coming back around for them, recurring for them for a really long time. The thing about this is there is this sense beneath the destiny that you have no idea how it's going to unfold. And I'm getting that whenever you do try to kind of grasp where this is going to go, or even really what you want it to be or what you want it to look like, it's almost like it brings up this feeling of overwhelm that almost makes you want to shut it all down. And this has been recalling me back to messages that I shared, I believe about a year ago. And I remember a video I did that was called 1 Year of Not Shutting It All Down. And for some reason, that's coming up here again. I feel that there's a message about opening some part of yourself or putting something out there or beginning to create in some way. Maybe this is like on a platform or starting a business or opening an outlet or sharing a part of yourself or just working on yourself in some way. But the message that I've been picking up is that this is kind of like that destiny that's been circling you, that keeps coming up for you. And in the past, you may have kind of started down that road and then you felt this fear or this overwhelm coming up. And so you would backtrack. And there was nothing wrong with doing that. It was all part of the preparation phase. Again, now is the perfect time. There's no cause for regret here, but that door of opportunity is opening back up for you and saying to you, what would happen if this time you stepped through the door and you didn't backtrack? Not that you have to be taking massive steps forward every single day, but what if you just kept it open? What if you didn't shut it all down out of fear? What if you continued to take one small step forward at a time, or even at times you just decided, you know what? I can't take a step forward, but I'm just going to rest in this energy. I'm going to allow it to settle and I'm going to keep it open. I'm not going to shut it down, because even that is progress. And so I'm picking up that you've been feeling guided to this, to open or to share some part of yourself or to do something for yourself that requires you leaving something open in a way, or not backtracking. It doesn't, again, require you to be taking huge steps towards it every single day. It simply requires you to have the courage to not shut it down. That seems to be what is coming up here. And what I'm getting is that simply you having the courage to not quit or to not shut something down, even that in itself seems to build a kind of momentum behind the scenes. And yet at the same time, there is this sense that you are not meant to be knowing the entire map at this time. I spoke on this in a recent reading video as well, but it feels worth talking about here because it feels like you're being given one step at a time here. And all you know is that something about doing this or sharing this part of yourself brings you this feeling of exhilaration, but I'm also getting heart connectedness. Like there's something about this pathway that seems to elicit an emotion from you that nothing else in your life does. And I'm hearing, look for the emotion. I don't know who I'm speaking to here. This message might be really specific to a certain group of people, but what I'm getting is that there's some kind of pathway or part of yourself or something in your life that brings out a different emotional reaction within you. And that is because it is connected to a core part of you in a way that nothing else in your life is. It's like somehow connected to your deepest, innermost timeline, meaning the timeline that is most connected with your core authentic frequency, which is equivalent to your highest vibrational timeline, because the closer we are vibrating to our core, the higher the vibration is, because it's louder in a sense. It's no longer being stifled by levels and layers of programming. And I feel that so much of your life recently has been about deconstructing and unraveling all of that programming, that patterning, those walls around your heart. And so you may have had to go down what felt like detours in order to unravel all of that, in order to unblock your heart space, so to speak. But now I'm getting that there's almost this sacred remembering taking place within you. Maybe it's you remembering like why you incarnated here on earth. Maybe it's you remembering a part of your life, like in this lifetime, in the past, where you had some kind of hobby or passion or a dream or a vision, and somehow you're revisiting that. And there is this feeling simultaneously of both something coming full circle, but also something being brand new. So it's as though you're fulfilling some kind of prophecy or some kind of destiny. There's a full circle moment, but at the same time, something about it feels very new because it's never seen this version of you before. I'm hearing that even if this is a dream or a goal or a part of you that you tried exploring in the past, it's never seen this version of you with your heart completely unblocked and open, this version of you that knows who you are and has become so confident in that authentic, true version of yourself. And so the message coming through here as well is, don't be afraid to apply new energy towards familiar directions, because the dream or the goal or the part of you coming up may actually feel familiar to you. It might feel like something you wanted in the past or you even tried in the past that didn't seem to work. But what you have to understand is now you're bringing an entirely new energy to whatever this thing is. I know the messages lately have been going really deep. I feel like I've just been really speaking to a certain collective here, and I'm setting the intention that whoever that collective is, they find this video. But there is another layer to this message, and it's that somehow you keeping something open. Okay, this is going to be really, really quantum, so stay with me here. I'm going to do my best to find the physical human words to describe this, but there is this sense that something you're doing is, I'm hearing keeping a light on. And when you think about keeping a light on, you think about almost like a lighthouse that stays lit. Like it's quiet, it's not invasive or intrusive or even really that loud or in your face, but it's like quietly signaling. And I feel that in some way you are quietly signaling like that to someone or something. Now, again, take this however it resonates for you. Your intuition knows if this connects for you, and if so, how it relates for you. This message feels very symbolic, but I kept hearing something about how something you are doing or you are considering doing sends out this signal, a repetitive signal, almost like a pulse. And it's not loud. Again, it's not really in your face, but it's consistent and it seems to be signaling someone or something. And again, maybe for some of you, this is you just like opening some part of yourself, keeping a light on for a dream in a way, like continuing to show up on a platform or to create in a certain direction, not getting afraid and shutting it all down. For others of you, though, I feel this could somehow be connected to, I mean, it's so intertwined, so it's kind of hard to sort out this message, but it feels like this is somehow connected to another person or like a soul connection. And it feels almost like something that you're doing is spiritually signaling to another being, another person, a soul that you are somehow connected to. And this feels very 5D. This feels like something that is taking place on a spiritual level, on a higher level. So it feels as though somehow you showing up in this way, you sharing yourself authentically, you being in that energy is sending out a signal to a soul that you are very connected to in the 5D, but that you might not really be connected to right now in the 3D. So this may be someone that you haven't even met yet. This could be someone who is being like beckoned or called into your life because you are having the courage to keep some part of you open or to keep signaling in some way. It's almost like you are sending out this signal of your authentic self into the universe, and someone is hearing that signal or like following that signal, almost like feeling their way through the dark to you in the physical. And I know that sounds really kind of strange and symbolic. I'm not sure how this relates for you, but I'm getting that if that message is for you, you've had some kind of sense of this happening. Now, this could be a friend, this could be a community, this could just generally represent you calling in your soul tribe or the people who really connect with you, because you are sending out this signal that is representative of who you really are. But for others of you, I do feel like this may be a very specific, like romantic soul connection, whether it's like a potential partnership or a romantic union, or whether it's someone from your past that's being like called back into your life. I keep seeing waves for some reason. And I'm thinking about like how the rhythm of the waves can like pull a ship or pull like a boat in some way. So I'm seeing someone like slowly being like pulled in to shore by the waves, by these ripples of a signal that you are sending out through something that you are doing. But I keep picking up that whatever you're doing is requiring a huge amount of courage, more than it looks like on the surface. So on the surface, it might just look like you are, I don't know, creating or even just showing up day after day on this planet, or continuing to move in a certain direction, or not shutting something down. But on a personal level, for you, this feels like holding a door open, or almost like clawing your way out of something, almost clawing your way out of your own fear. So for you on the surface, everything looks still, or it looks almost simple or easy. But internally, there is like this battle. There is like you battling against some kind of fear or uncertainty that is coming up within you as you keep pressing forward on this pathway. It really is like you're holding some kind of line, not just for yourself, but for a whole collective. I'm hearing your bravery will inspire others. So whatever acts of courage you're taking for yourself seem to be inspiring and activating whole collectives of people. And that's actually part of why this feels so challenging to you at times, because you're sensing the bigness of it. You're sensing how many people are actually being changed and transformed and activated by the signal that you are sending out. And yet on the surface, everything looks still. On the surface, it's almost like it may look like nothing is really moving that much, or nothing has really changed that much, but something huge has shifted within you, and it's sending out a signal that is transforming an entire collective that is also connected to you. So the other message coming through connected to this fear, I know we're speaking a lot off the cuff. I am going to pull some cards here as well. But when it comes to this fear, there's something coming up about how this fear isn't entirely yours. Part of what you're feeling is this energetic backlash from people and forces and things who, for some reason, seem to feel threatened when they can sense you moving forward in this way, or creating in this way, or keeping some part of you open. And I'm hearing something about your past, like people or things from your past sensing that you are transforming, that you are moving forward. And I'm hearing something about a ghost town. It's almost like a part of you is feeling this fear because on some human level, you are wondering how people or things are going to react to you in an old world that you used to be a part of. But the thing is, that old world is like a ghost town. It's not even your world anymore. You left a long time ago. But I feel like this is almost you retrieving pieces of yourself that you may have left in that ghost town. Parts of you that may have still cared, like what people would think or how they would react to you, that you had disconnected from a long time ago. And it's you calling all of those pieces of yourself back into the present and creating forward. The thing is, I feel that this is getting so interesting as we peel back the layers of this, but I almost feel that the people and things still in that ghost town, in a sense, were actually benefiting from you keeping pieces of yourself in that space, keeping parts of yourself on that timeline. I'm hearing not dreaming too big or doing quote unquote too much or sharing yourself too brightly or too loudly. It feels that there were people or forces benefiting from you keeping yourself small, but it's not exactly what you might think. When I say they were benefiting from you keeping yourself small, what I mean is they were benefiting from you keeping yourself diluted, keeping parts and pieces of yourself on some past timeline that they still had access to. It's almost like they could still benefit from the remnants of your energy that you hadn't yet called back to yourself, that were still lingering on those old timelines. Now that you are, I'm hearing, calling back what is yours, there are people or forces who felt entitled to those parts of you because they'd had access to them for so long that it's almost like they began to believe that that was theirs, that it was part of their own community or energy or like whole energy system or whatever. But it was your energy all along on that past timeline that was somehow still connecting with them, that they were still getting some sort of boost from. And now it's as though you are calling back those pieces and those parts of yourself to assemble yourself in a louder, brighter way, to bring all of yourself into the present and to create powerfully forward. And it's triggering anyone or anything that was still getting some kind of access to those past parts of you that you hadn't yet reclaimed. And I'm hearing something about reclaiming your story as well. So I'm not sure how that relates for someone, but I'm feeling that for someone listening, part of this self-reclamation is you taking back some kind of narrative or sharing your story, sharing your truth, even if it feels raw or messy or uncertain. I'm hearing even if it's not how you want to feel, it's still how you really feel. And it's like you are giving yourself the gift of being heard and having a voice and being shared. And that is very triggering to certain people from your past for a few reasons. One is I feel that certain people feel exposed by your light. And so when you share your story, when you share your truth, in a way, it somehow casts a light on them and causes them to have to look at themselves or their story in a different kind of way. But beyond that, you simply having the courage to do that for yourself is triggering to certain people who don't have that same courage right now, people who may not be ready to look at parts of themselves or their own story, or who may have felt restricted from sharing their own story. For some reason, I'm seeing a woman or a feminine energy, however it's connecting, who is almost like feeling resentful towards you or projecting fear onto you because this woman or this feminine energy seemed to have been silenced themselves. So they either chose to silence themselves or there was an external force or pressure, maybe even society generally, that silenced them. And so when they see you stepping forward and sharing your truth and your voice in such a bright, loud, open way, it's causing them to feel their own chains even more heavily. It's causing them to think about the times that they silenced themselves or that they allowed themselves to be silenced. I'm hearing you are both the trigger and the activator, and the trigger and the activation is one and the same. It's about how ready someone is for your energy, because if someone is ready to look at themselves more clearly and to really transform, then you will be an activator for them. But if they are still wanting to close themselves off, then they're going to find your energy really triggering, but it's definitely going to leave some kind of effect on them. And that's another message coming through here. Your energy does not leave people unaffected. They feel it. They're going to feel it. There is no way around it. I'm also now picking up some kind of message about how you are living some kind of path or starting to step forward on a path that you've had an awareness of for a while, that maybe you've even spoken about or talked to other people about, or that you've tried to inspire others to. I feel like you are now living that path for yourself. So I don't know what this is for you. Maybe you've always told other people to pursue their passions or follow their dreams. but now you're doing that for yourself. Or maybe you always try to encourage or heal or help other people in certain ways, and now you're giving that encouragement and that healing, that help and that support back to yourself. I am hearing something about how it's time for you to take all of the energy that you've always poured out towards others and to pour it back into yourself. So if you've always encouraged others, it's time for you to start encouraging yourself in the same way. If you've always supported others, it's time for you to start giving yourself that same kind of support. So I am going to be taking a quick sip of my coffee here, and finally, we are going to be pulling some cards. The messages have just really been flowing today, so thank you for the energy that you've brought to this space and to this channel. By the way, if this is resonating, there will be an extended version of this reading on Patreon and YouTube memberships. You can listen from either place. And when you do join as a member, you get access to 3 new additional exclusive readings just for members every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So what can I channel for our beautiful collective here? Garden and the gate in the upright position. I heard the word no so clearly in my mind, and I saw like this wall or this boundary going up. I'm also seeing like a scroll or like someone writing. I'm hearing a script, or maybe you're writing a script literally, or rewriting a script within yourself. Ooh, that's interesting. Like there's a script running in your mind that you are rewriting and somehow saying no to someone or something, or maybe some false fear program within yourself is part of you rewriting that script. Interesting. Yeah, we have the victory card that represents a major breakthrough happening here. I feel that you are protecting some kind of dream or I'm hearing blossoming part of yourself more than you've protected it before, more fiercely than you've protected it before. And I feel that somehow in the past, you used to let people kind of stomp on your garden or trespass into this garden of a dream. You used to kind of allow anyone into it. It's almost like allowing anyone's opinions into something. I feel that there was something you were contemplating doing where in the past you may have tried to ask for guidance or advice externally, or you may have been open to other people's feedback or other people's opinions about this dream. But I'm hearing the word no. I feel like now you are protecting that dream more fiercely, like those walls are going up around your garden. And I'm hearing it's not that you are closed off to feedback, it's that you are more confident in what you know. I'm hearing you know what you know. You're allowing yourself to be confident within that and to trust your path. And I'm hearing it's not up for debate. Interesting. Yeah, there's like a very fierce energy coming through here. There may be somehow lion imagery or a Leo connected to this, or you might have Leo energy in your birth chart. But I feel like this is where the breakthrough lies for you right now, in protecting this vision or this dream more fiercely, not allowing in just anyone's thoughts or opinions or feedback, finding that validation or fulfillment from within yourself, but specifically within your heart. There's something about how, as long as your heart is in it, you know that you're on the right path. And if you're wondering whether you're on the right path, check in with your heart and ask yourself, am I feeling emotion around this? Am I feeling emotionally self-connected to this vision or this thing I'm doing or this dream? And I see someone literally putting their hand over their heart as they ask themselves this. So this could be a good way to check in with yourself internally, to source that validation from within your own heart, to ask yourself, what kind of emotion genuinely feels connected to this action or to this part of me or to this dream? But there's something about keeping it very in the moment. So following your highest emotional energy in the moment instead of pre-planning where it should go. There's also something here about how this is very reversed from how you may have manifested in the past. So we are told a lot about the power of emotional energy. And it's true, emotional energy is so powerful because our heart chakra is our most magnetized energy center. So when we tap into that heart chakra energy, we are able to magnetize ourselves for our dreams and desires. But I feel that how we're often taught to do this is by intellectually taking an idea and infusing emotion into it. So taking an idea and then trying to infuse or create emotion around it. But what I'm hearing is you are now manifesting by doing the opposite of that. Instead of creating specific definitions for your goals and then trying to infuse them with emotion to magnetize them, you are asking yourself, it's almost like you're going right to the source. You're asking yourself, what feels connected to my highest emotional energy right now? So when I imagine myself feeling profoundly happy and fulfilled, what images and visualizations come to my mind? What do I see myself doing? What hobbies, what passions, what dreams, what version of myself am I showing up as? And it's almost like you are doing things backwards, but in the best way, because instead of trying to define your goals, your vision, your dreams, and then emotionally charge them, you are tapping into your heart, asking yourself where that highest emotion is naturally leading you. And I'm hearing something about how doing this is going to allow you to manifest more quickly, more effortlessly, but also in a way that feels more naturally harmonious with your being at all levels and layers, because you are no longer defining rigid pathways and goals and dreams for yourself. You are allowing that version of you to flow naturally from your heart. And I'm hearing it's going to be so much better, so much more fulfilling and harmonious than you could ever define consciously from the level of the mind. There are going to be things, opportunities, people, pathways showing up for you that you couldn't have even dreamt up, that you may have not even thought to imagine, but that make you feel so profoundly fulfilled on such a soul level because they're so connected with your heart. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the reading here and then continue on to our extended reading on Patreon. Do let me know in the comments if this has been connecting with your journey. I feel like lately I've been really tapping into a very rare and specific collective. So I would love to know if this is for you, if you feel guided to share anything. And if you would like to join me on this journey and be supported by our whole community as you move forward, then I invite you to subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you want to continue on with me to the extended reading, the link to join me there next is underneath this video. Otherwise, I'm sending you huge amounts of love and light energy. Have a beautiful, magical, magnificent day and start to your week. And I will connect with you here again in the next video.